While a long-running video game series with no bad games is rare to find, it is not impossible. In fact, we've already done a video in which we ranked the top 10 best video game franchises with no bad games. And you guys went straight to the comment section to share your favourite franchises that you think should be on our list. I'm Josh, and welcome to Hotfix Gaming. Today, we're bringing you 10 more video game franchises with no bad games, all based on your suggestions. Unlike our last video, which is linked below, these games are not in any particular order, but they all qualify for the criteria. They are long-running series with no bad games. So, let's get started. At number 1, we've got Doom. Since it's celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, you'd think that Doom must have had at least one bad entry, but no. The franchise has been producing amazing demon-busting action consistently. While Doom 64 is considered to be one of the weaker titles, it is still not bad enough to tarnish the franchise's name. On the other hand, Doom and Doom 2 Hell on Earth remain genre-defining classics, while Doom 3 and Doom 2016 both came out of nowhere to surprise everybody by being immensely fun and technically excellent FPS games. Doom Eternal took up the baton in style in 2020, developing on the gameplay of its predecessor in style. 2. Infamous. The Infamous series puts you in the shoes of an average Joe in the wake of some cataclysmic event that turns you into a superpowered target. It is now up to you to decide whether you're going to be a good guy or wreak havoc. It seems that controlling a superpowered being that can wipe out countless enemies with their multitude of distinct powers is enjoyable no matter what, as many gamers have claimed that Infamous is one of those franchises that just doesn't have a bad game. Just like Doom, we guess there's always fun in destroying enemies, whether that's with guns or superpowers. 3. Donkey Kong Country. While the character first came into existence in the early 1980s and the Donkey Kong franchise has produced many titles, fans argue that there might be some questionable entries here and there. But the Donkey Kong Country series that is within the DK franchise has provided players with a level of quality and consistency over the years, which is quite impressive. The series had quite a lot of success with its first entry, Donkey Kong Country, for the SNES. Then its sequels, Diddy Kong's Quest and Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, proved to be just as fun. In the 2010s, Nintendo also extended the series' perfect run with Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, which were just as great and kept gamers entertained for hours and hours. 4. Metro series. Based on the book series with the same name by Dmitry Glukovsky, Metro games are set in the post-apocalyptic Moscow metro system, home to the last survivors of humankind. Artyom, the main character, is searching through these tunnels in the hopes of finding people outside this hell. With such an engaging storyline, missions, and of course scary underground creatures, the Metro games are among the best examples of post-apocalyptic survival games in recent history. 4A Games has even confirmed recently that they've started working on the next Metro game. And in addition to focusing on building the single-player experience, they're also working on a multiplayer mode. So there's more to look forward to for fans of this franchise. 5. Monster Hunter. This franchise has been around since 2004 and has been releasing one amazing game after the other for the past 19 years. But it was only when Monster Hunter World got released that the series started gaining more traction and even went on to set several sales milestones. Nowadays, Monster Hunter is a franchise synonymous with role-playing games and has recently become one of Capcom's biggest original IPs. All of the titles released after 2018 have sold millions of copies and have made the franchise so popular that it even got a film adaptation. Granted, it was not the best movie adaptation out there, but it just goes to show how fast this series has grown in such a short amount of time. 6. Dishonored. The Dishonored series may not be as long as the ones we've mentioned earlier in this video, but it provides quite an entertaining experience. So far, the franchise contains 2 main entries and a standalone expansion called Death of the Outsider. And the secret to their success and consistency is the lack of significant changes between entries. They're all very similar in both gameplay and presentation, but despite the lack of alterations between the games, things are still quite entertaining while playing the series. Each title gives you the freedom to embark on missions in any way you like, making every level unique and keeping boredom at bay. 7. Gears of War. Probably one of Xbox's most reliable franchises, the Gears of War series have always had an emotionally resonant story, while also packing loads of third-person shooting action. Books have been written featuring Marcus, Dom, Cole and Baird, while rumours of a TV show have just started a few years ago. With high-quality action, a ragtag bunch of playable characters, and intense shotgun duels in its multiplayer, the series has been a sturdy pillar of Xbox through good times and bad. Every game in the Gears of War series retains a lot of the same elements, whether made by Epic or the Coalition, and this type of consistency is something fans love about the franchise. Although players have not been particularly keen on Judgment, a side story for the franchise, Gears of War is still a high-praised gaming series. 8. Dark Souls. Spanning less than a decade and containing just 3 mainline entries means that Dark Souls' consistent quality is probably not as impressive as the other franchises we've mentioned in this video. However, this series still deserves a ton of credit. This franchise of action RPGs may be famous for its punishing difficulty, but it's proven to be a mountain that players are eager to climb no matter how many times they get knocked down. While some changes have been made throughout the series, its core gameplay has remained largely unchanged, probably because it works so well. While the first entry, Dark Souls, won fans over with its difficult but deep combat, Dark Souls 2 managed to be better than its predecessor in every single way. And then, Dark Souls 3 came around to provide a perfect conclusion for the trilogy. 9. Uncharted. While it's not the first game series to have amazing cinematic cutscenes, Uncharted arguably has some of the best. With great characters, engaging stories and gameplay and jaw-dropping set pieces, each of the series' 4 main entries is excellent. As the series has progressed to the current generation of consoles, the visual language of the games has gotten even more cinematic and beautifully composed. They are games that put you in control of blockbuster films, allowing you to step into the role of an action hero in ways that other franchises can't come close to replicating. There's a palpable sense of adventure in these games and a perfect blend of authorship and storytelling in that you feel simultaneously like you're watching a fascinating story unfold and being an active participant. Uncharted has arguably produced some of the best action-adventure titles of all time. 10. Half-Life. Alongside several expansion packs, there have only been a few Half-Life games, much to the disappointment of many fans. However, at least the ones that were released are incredible. After all, the series begins with a title that provides a first-person shooter experience like nothing ever seen before. As such, living up to it was a tall task for Half-Life 2 and its additional episodes, but Valve built on the formula of the original to create something bigger and arguably better. Half-Life Alyx is a bit different since it's a VR title, but it's no less impressive. In fact, it might be the most spectacular one, since it truly shows the potential of virtual reality gaming. There are many franchises that you guys have mentioned in the comment section of our original video, which is linked below. And before we move on to some honourable mentions, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you can be notified every time we post a new video. And now, before we go, here are some honourable mentions. Burnout. While most racing games tend to fall into 2 categories, Burnout manages to include both. Realistic simulation games like Forza series, as well as elements that are typical to wacky arcade titles like Mario Kart. Burnout is a franchise that has consistently produced entertaining racing games that fans love. Prince of Persia. This series has produced both 2D and 3D masterpieces, leaving its mark on gaming history. However, while being considered one of the greatest, it is also deemed to be one of the most inconsistent platformer franchises of all time. Plague Tale. With only 2 games released so far, Plague Tale is making waves. Sure, it doesn't reinvent the wheel when it comes to third-person stealth action games, but it does deliver a well-crafted entry for the genre. Which game franchise has no bad games in your opinion? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.